Hello. I think it's a perfect day to connect with the February energy that's been coming through from the Akashic records, because the theme for February, when I tune in at the beginning of the month and just get in touch with the way in which the Akashic records is sort of holding an important frequency, hey Nichelle, has been all about visibility. And that this is, hi Carolina, this is a month where that is going to really focus on our relationship to visibility, on trusting that the earth has a plan for us. It's not just us having a plan with the earth, and that that plan is going to require some sort of visibility. And so I thought it was like a perfect day to talk about this and think about this, because it's the Leo full moon. And so, it's interesting because I think we're in the Aquarius season. I'm actually an Aquarius sun and rising, and then my Leo is in like my relationship house, which we're about to talk about in a second. Obviously, we're really close to Valentine's Day too. But it's an interesting two energies to have together, because Leo is the sign of visibility. It's the part of us that loves to be seen and loves to be seen in our full expression, and can have deep loyalty to others and to relationship, but also deep loyalty to the human experience of being seen and felt and expressed on this planet. And if there's anyone here who has Aquarian energy or placement, or like resonates with, Aquarian era, right? Like the Aquarian age, you know that one of the most frustrating parts of being someone with a lot of Aquarian energy is like, no one gets it while you're super into something, and by the time everyone understands it, you've moved on to the next thing. I don't know if anyone else here can relate to that. And so there's a way in which the Aquarian energy is often about doing something connected to the greater collective, feeling really devoted to a deeper understanding or a deeper innovation, or introducing something new to something that's been very held. And Saturn and Mercury and Jupiter and Leo, that's interesting. So that's well, hold on, I'll stay with this, but I would love to talk to you more about that. That's such an interesting placement. There's a devotion with the Aquarian energy, right, to like introduce the thing, which means not everyone collectively is into that thing yet, and you can often feel not seen in that way. And then it's right up against today that Leo energy about being seen. And I realized, it's totally time to do a video about this month's energy. And then I realized, wait a minute, this is the Leo full moon. So where do we most work out feeling seen? That's something I was really meditating on today too. And truthfully, it's in our relationships. So when it comes to feeling not seen or feeling seen, what we're typically talking about is our relationship to fill in the blank. So our relationship to other people, to ourselves, to the environment, to our purpose, to technology. It's all about relationships. And obviously we're already in that that window of time where we think about relationships a lot, right? So I've been revisiting a lot of my old works. I'm putting it all together in a book. And I was thinking a lot about this teaching that came to me like about 11 or 12 years ago from the Akashic records, that has a lot to do with love and how we identify in relationships and love. So I'm going to share that teaching here, and then we're going to go into the energy with the Akasha and do something with that as we come into this Leo full moon, which is about feeling seen, as we come into the part of us that holds Aquarian energy, because whether or not you have the placements, we are here in this Aquarian age where we all have something to offer that's innovative and unique and holding a specific key to the thing we're unlocking together collectively. So we'll go into that energy together, but I first want to just share this idea from the Akasha that I've been working with clients for like a dozen years. So the teaching that was given to me when working with the Akashic records is that we all are working with an inner compass. We were born with a compass that is going to lead us where we're supposed to go into the the journey that we have opted into as this person in this timeline. And that this inner compass has 4 directive relationships. So the way there's 4 directions in this teaching, there's 4 directive relationships. And it's the relationship to ourself, so our experience and our relationship to our own being, and a relationship to community. So we kind of start there. And then the next relationship is our relationship to community. So the community we are born into, the community we choose, the community that chooses us, the community we find ourselves in, and the global community. Like every way we can have a construct of community, there's that relationship. And then there's the relationship to our mission. So this is the third one. So basically we start with ourselves, we come into community. From community, we are initiated into our relationship to mission. And so mission is our purpose. It could be our career, but like it's our career, but it like goes bigger than that, right? Like our mission is why we're here. And there's many ways and many experiences that allow us to activate our mission that typically are going to have to do with our relationships, right? But there's many ways to experience your mission and your purpose and what you're up to and why you came at this time. And then we move through that. And then the closing direction is our relationship to spirit. So it's the understanding we often come to of the greater energy that is holding us and guiding us. It's where we return to after we travel those other 3 directions. It's where we come from. And then from spirit, right? In the rebirth experience from spirit, we go back into the relationship of feeling like we have a self. So there's these 4 directive relationships that we're traveling and toggling back and forth from through our lifetime. Self, community, mission, spirit. And it's the 4 relationships we build upon. And I think it's very interesting to look at where we're feeling seen in those 4 different relationships, because there's times when one of those relationships is more of a priority than another. And there's a time where it's time to go be directed in visiting one of those relationships more than another. So I'm going to add one more piece to this teaching. But before we do that, I want you to just drop in and feel, maybe even connect with your heart. And you could picture or your lower belly, wherever you're feeling this compass, but you could picture the one direction being self and just feeling that direction. How are you feeling in the relationship of self? What does it look like? What are you sensing? The relationship to community, dropping in and feeling the relationship to community. What do you see when I say that? What do you feel? What are you seeing there, and how have you been feeling seen? Take a moment there. Okay, now we're going to connect with the relationship to mission. What are you seeing when I say relationship to mission, that direction? Taking a breath, relaxing your body, and then coming to the relationship to spirit. What do you see in the relationship to spirit? How are you seen? How do you feel seen by your relationship to spirit? And you can just notice, taking a breath, coming back in, you can just notice if one of those relationships really stood out for you, really felt like it was pinging you a bit, or maybe one of them felt a little depleted, or maybe something interesting came up when you thought about, what do I see there, and how do I feel seen? So we're going to add one more layer onto this before we go into the records. So the second layer is about, I think it was like exactly 10 years ago, I got the next part, which is that we are guided throughout this life with these 4 destiny directions, these 4 directive relationships. And then and obviously, like, inside of that experience is the experience of love, right? Like, relationship is a vehicle for love to travel through, one of the ways. And so I got this concept from the records of love identities and the way in which we identify with love and how we experience love. And that each one of these 4 directions holds a different identity connected to love. And this feels like a good time to talk about that. So we'll start with the first one. So just let yourself drop in and feel if you're doing this live or recorded. So like the first one is our directive relationship to self. So our relationship to self. And I'm going to give you the healed I am statement. So I am is like, I am blank. It's the identity statement. I'm going to give you the healed version of this statement, which is I am safe in love. Just breathing that in. I am safe in love. Letting yourself feel the frequency of being deeply connected with yourself, being able to know that you've got you, and so it's very safe to give and receive love. You've got you. Breathing that in. Seeing what that feels like. The second direction and love identity is our relationship to community. And so just dropping in and connecting to relationship to community, and the love identity in its healed form is I am trusting of love. And so when we have community, when we really let ourselves participate and give and receive and feel grounded, then we have trust. And so we can identify with love, and we can identify as that being of something we can trust. And so we're just breathing in, I am trusting of love. Breathing that in. Exhaling out. Letting that energy go where it needs to go in your body, maybe in the throat. Noticing what comes up there. And then the third relationship is our relationship to mission. So just dropping in, reconnecting to the relationship to mission. And the love identity, hello. The love identity connected to mission is the healed version is I am capable of love. Because when we are in strong relationship to mission, like we're in purpose, we're experiencing ourselves like in our work, in our great work, beyond career, right? And so when we experience that, then we experience our capacity and our capability. And so when we begin to connect with the energy of relationship and love, we can feel capable of that. So our healed love identity inside of the relationship to mission is I am capable of love. I am capable of being in love. I'm capable of being in a relationship. Breathing that in, seeing how that frequency feels. Breathe that in. Exhaling out, letting that move maybe into the lungs. Allowing the frequency of knowing you are capable to release some grief that might be hiding out there. Taking a few breaths there. And before I give you the fourth one, just feeling that, your relationship to yourself, feeling safe to be with love, to be with relationship. You've got you. Your relationship to community, feeling trusting of love, of relationship, of letting people in. Your relationship to mission, feeling purposeful, feeling connected, getting the opportunity to feel your brilliance and your artistry, and then allowing that to correlate with feeling capable of having love, of being in relationship, breathing that in. And then coming to the fourth one, which is our relationship. Hey, Bonnie. Hey, Alexa, Emily, good to see everyone. And then when you're connecting, so we're going to go into the Akashic records in a couple minutes. I was sharing a teaching that the Akasha gave me about relationship and love identities like a dozen years ago. And so we're just going to the fourth one. So it's our relationship to spirit. And the healed love identity, the healed way we work with love in our relationship to spirit is I am worthy of love. And so just breathing that one in, I'm worthy of love. Because when we are in deep relationship to spirit, when we are connected to the truth of that, it's like then we are connected to the intrinsic worthiness and the reality of this being the whole thing. This is the whole game, right? Like it's just about love. And so there is no conflict when we are in connection with our spirit, when we are in deep relationship with spirit. There is no conflict with understanding our worthiness for love, to be with love, to be in love, to have someone in love with us, to being seen. So just taking a few breaths here. And I'm just going to do a quick track back because we have a couple new people. So today is the Leo new moon. The energy for February from the Akashic records since the beginning of the month is about visibility and about really knowing it's our time to be more visible, because we've come into this Aquarian age where we all have an offering. We all have an offering and a gift and something innovative and special and healing for the collective that we're bringing to the earth. And so February has been about the visibility, and it's interesting because we're in the Aquarian time, which typically in the Aquarian energy, like you don't always feel seen necessarily because you're up to something or you're connecting to something that is going to be new. So it's not quite understood yet. And we're bringing it together with like the sister sign to Aquarius, which is Leo, because it's the Leo full moon, which is all about loyalty and devotion to being visible and to being seen and expressed. And then we're tying it in with Valentine's Day period of time, which is about relationships, because the place in which where we really get to experience what it is to see and be seen is through the vehicle on this planet of relationship, all the different types. And so the 4 pillar relationships, the 4 directive relationships that we travel in our incarnation as given to me by the Akashic records was a relationship to self, community, mission, spirit. And then the next piece they gave me a couple years later is there's 4 identities that are connected, these love identities that are connected to those 4 main relationships onto our life. And so when we're in a healthy, strong relationship with self, it's safe to have love, to be with love, to give love, to experience love, to be seen in that way, right? When we're in a strong relationship with community, we trust love because we're having many experiences of being part of something where we trust other people, where other people trust us, where we're participating and we're experiencing and we're witnessing. And so it allows us to have trust with love. And then with mission, when we're in our mission, when we feel clear on our purpose, sometimes our career or job is expressing it. Sometimes our mission is being expressed somewhere else at that time. But when we're clear on mission, then we feel capable. Then we feel confident and capable. And then we can experience that love identity of feeling really capable of love and relationship. And when we're connected to spirit, which is like the final direction, right? We come from spirit, we go back to spirit before we start again at the relationship to self. Then we're really connected to the relationship of worthiness, because worthiness is like this construct that's not, that's not actually how we understand things from spirit, right? Like it's all worthy. So that's the teaching I wanted to share before we go into the Akasha. And yeah, we're just going to take a breath here. Now, the other piece to that obviously is if this resonated for you, it's I do a longer course about these love identities, but if this resonated for you, it's really interesting to look at your relationship to yourself, to community, to mission, to spirit, and then how you're feeling. Are you feeling safe, trusting, capable, worthy? Or sometimes you're realizing like, I've not been feeling capable. I've not been feeling trusting of my life. I'm not feeling worthy or safe. And then you can look at that relationship. It's like, okay, so like what's happening in my relationship to community? What's been going on with my spiritual practice? Have I been connecting with myself, like really taking care of myself so that I know that I've got me, so that it can feel safe to go out into the world and I'm not putting my safety on anyone else because I'm really in connection to myself? So it really becomes this like powerful guidebook when you really get in touch with those 4 directions and the way they correlate to those identities. And in this full moon, you may be looking at like, how am I feeling seen in my relationship with myself? Like I actually just had a client before this. I was like working on this, some ideas around this, and she sent me, she's doing some stuff with her music, and she was like sharing some beautiful writing with me. And I was talking to her about this a little bit, and she was like, like I'm finally seeing myself, so for her today, she's really connecting to like what I want to be able to see is really see myself. And now that I can really see myself and understand my art, because I'm so in relationship with myself, now I'm ready to put out this album. That's an example for her. But it might be like you're ready to feel more seen by your community. You're ready to see more community around you. You're ready to feel more seen in your mission. You're ready to be able to see your mission. You're ready to feel more seen in your spirit, by spirit. You're ready to see more spirit in your life. You're ready to begin to track the threads of spirit in your reality. So that's like a little love identity download. I've been thinking about that work a lot this week as we come into this energy. And so I wanted to share that with you. And now we're just gonna go into the records and see what's here before we complete. Open the Akashic record of the Leo full moon. I think everyone here probably knows what the Akashic records are, but if you're just joining me, it's a field of energy, and I think of it like the universe's supercomputer in which everything has a file, including us together right now, connecting with the full moon. And the Akashic prayer and the words that I'm going to begin to say are like the access code to that file. And we open the file, and it's a mentorship, so we don't need to know everything and anything that's going to be there, but we're going to get what's most relevant. So when we're working with the field of the Akashic records, we're working with loving mentorship, spiritual energy that wants to guide us to what's most relevant right now. And we work step by step in that way with this energy. So we're just going to take a few breaths here, breathing in some space and some possibility. And if you're going to, this will be a shorter meditation, but if you're doing this with us, I'm going to invite you to open your hands. Let yourself be in a receptive pose. Hi, Laura. Let your heart open a little bit. That's already the mentoring from the energies. Like, put yourself in a position to be able to receive, even just physically. And just take a few breaths here, breathing space and possibility for this connection. And we're going to open the records with each breath that we take, and the door between worlds is ceasing to exist. And the first message that's coming through is just to really trust, even though we're talking a lot about relationship and being seen. If you have felt like you've been in a bit of a silo and a bit of like a cocoon, and it's sort of like, yes, I am connecting with this, I want to feel seen, but like I'm not able to get out of the process I'm in, there's just an affirmation of all of what we're talking about, and it's been totally right to be in a enclosed process. And so for many of us, the relationship, the direction, the love identity that we've been connecting with in the start of this year is the relationship to ourself. Because there's been a, hi Vanessa, because there's been a lot of things moving through the field that would have us need to go deeper into the relationship to ourselves. Because remember, the love identity, you know, this is all through the lens of the way the Akasha is here to teach us. The love identity connected to ourself is I am safe. And so there's just been a lot that would rattle anyone's nervous system. It's like whatever might rattle you, or whatever might rattle like the karma, right? That you are here to work with and mend and alchemize. Like something has happened lately that could have rattled the safety, the feeling of safety. And so as we've come into this year, it's very natural and normal to have been really digging in and really dropping into the relationship to self. And if that's been the relationship you've been able to be most successful with, that's good. That's right. You can celebrate that. And if that's the relationship you're realizing you've been trying to outrun, you know, here's a little reminder that like before we can be properly seen by any of these other relationships, through our work, through our whatever, we have to be able to be properly seen by ourselves. And so this has been a beautiful time to work on that. Or just in this moment, you might be waking up to connecting with that. And so just taking a few breaths here. You know, we didn't talk about the reverse of this, right? Like we're working with I am safe in love. But obviously the reverse of that is I am unsafe, and there's different ways that looks out in the world. But we're going to work with the healed version. So I want you to just connect here, bringing in that frequency of I am safe in love. I am safe to be in the process I am in. And just letting that energy wrap all around you. Feeling your own higher self, the greater part of your energy coming in and just dropping in with you, breathing in more of you. It is safe to be more of you. It is safe to properly see yourself. And just bringing that into your heart. We're also calling upon the guides, the guardians, and the teachers of the Akasha to be here now. And there's just their energy is just here with us, all of that. So you can even call in your own guides and guardians to be with you. And we're also just taking a moment to really receive that. I feel, as I've been calling that in, there's just a lot of energy from people who have transitioned, a lot of older members of our ancestry and our lineages that are here, because this is a very curious time. This feels, even for all the cycles we've been in, this is very unprecedented. And so I'm laughing a little bit because I'm just feeling a lot of energy from a lot of soul beings who have been here at other times, who are just like holding so much curiosity and interest in the current process we're all in. And they're seeing us. You know, it's funny, we're talking about being seen, and I just feel on a spirit level how we are being very seen right now by the spirit world. We're kind of being brought right to that relationship. And our worthiness, or the love identity of I am worthy, and how worthy we are for this task, for this experience, for the prosperity. That is part of this time. It's like things are a little distorted right now, but this time is about a great renaissance of prosperity of many different kinds. We are worthy and we are seen. I am worthy of love. Breathing that in. And we're also calling upon the soul lineage of myself as a holder with the Akasha. Calling upon the soul lineage of every person who's here alive or recorded in their fullest expression of love, in their fullest expression of being connected to these 4 relationships and these 4 love identities in their most exalted, healed, happy experience. And the message I'm really hearing, so when I say soul lineage, I'm like connecting, we're calling in like every version of you that's ever been, every role your soul has ever played coming in. And the thing I'm really feeling as a message for us on this Leo full moon, it's funny because like I'm just sort of seeing anyone who's here or going to watch this like roaring like a lion. And just a reminder of like, you can be all of yourself. You can be all of yourself here on this planet. You know, it's interesting because there's so many ways to be seen, new ways to be seen, and yet so many people feeling like they're constantly in the form of witness or observer. And you get to be a participant. And like, that is the greatest type of relationships we have, right? That is when we feel most seen, are the relationships where it's like, you don't have to hold back with me. Like, you can be angry, you can be hurt, you can be happy and successful, you can be healthy, you can be strong, you can be, you know, sensual, you can be everything, you can be grieving. Like those relationships where you get to be all the things, like there's just a strong message to each of us as you're connecting with the version of you that is most relevant for what we're doing today on this full moon. It's like reconnecting with the truth that like you can be everything on earth. You can be all of yourself here. You don't have to fit into whatever box you think has kept it working for you. We sometimes can like get smaller in certain places because we think we'll have the resources we need if we amplify certain things and mute others. But there's this really strong message to us to like be all the colors, play all the notes. You don't have to hold back. You're not going to go crazy. Like you're not going to lose yourself. Sometimes we also hold back because we're like, I might just not come back. It's good. This is okay. This is reality. It's actually being in reality to be playing all the notes. This is how we can exist in this time. We have to be all of the things and express all of the ways. And nothing lasts forever. Not even the most painful expressions. And so just beginning to breathe that in and just letting yourself fully, hey, Erin, Catherine, hello. Letting yourself fully express, open. Maybe even like making some like roaring sounds. Or like a little bit of lion's breath, if you know that from yoga. But just like really feeling like anything that might just need to get shaken out or sounded or like exhaled. Maybe you're doing this or you're doing this later and some emotion comes up. Maybe you need to like yell, maybe you yell into a pillow if you need to, but you have to be everything you are. This is the right way to be at this time. Fully expressed. And we're also calling upon the Akashic vibrational record of today, of this full moon, February 12th, 2025, of anything else this group of people live and recorded are going to experience and receive and are meant to connect with. And so just as you breathe here, as you breathe in, you're receiving love from this circle of people who are participating in this activation. As you exhale out, you're sending love out. And with each breath, you're just receiving, breathing it in, exhaling out, giving and receiving. And it's interesting, as I'm connecting to everybody breathing in, it's like your breath in is the giving of love. Your breath out is the sending of receiving of love. Interesting. So it's like receiving is the way you are giving love right now. So just letting yourself breathe, knowing you're giving and you're receiving and you're sending. And maybe you have a prayer, like a loving prayer for the world at large, and you're just letting that release from you. It's not something you have to figure out. It's just inside of you. So with the next breath, just letting the prayer that's inside of you just come rolling out. That's your Valentine for the world. You don't have to think about it. It's just there. So just notice what happens. Let it go where it's meant to go. Know that the Valentine is being sent where it needs to be sent. Working together with love and integrity and the greatest possible outcome and the highest possible good for everybody who is here live and recorded, everybody who's connected to the stories of our souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, yes, yes. The records are open. The space is open. And we're just connecting with the energy of this process and just the strongest message. And, you know, we are in this Leo full moon. And if you're just joining us for the energy, I'll put some timestamps at the end of this because we did some cool teachings from the Akasha from through the years about relationship. But the strongest message is just is about full expression, and just this is how we get to feel seen. If we're not seeing ourselves, if we're not feeling seen by others, if we're not feeling like we can see our purpose or being seen in our purpose, if we're not feeling like we're seeing spirit or feeling seen by spirit and what we're asking for, it's like, just turn up the volume on being expressed. Just turn up the volume. Even just like 1 decibel. 1 decibel of like doing one little thing that you realize could create some visibility. like wearing a certain color, stretching, like stretching in public. I don't know. It doesn't have to be something weird. Turning on a song that really sings to your heart, It's like, that's actually what it is. Like, if there's a place we're not feeling seen, then where can we turn up the decibel just one more, to allowing ourselves to be in a position to receive visibility, to experience visibility, even with ourselves, right? Because even if you're just in a room by yourself, allowing yourself to express one level deeper to your own soul, to your own being, you can, to the mirror. But this is a time to just let it all come through. There's no more holding back. This is a time of complete and full expression. This is what we've been gearing up for. This is why we live in a time where the technology has been about offering people greater volume of visibility than ever before. But and there's a magic to that. There's like a chemistry to that. But it only works if people are authentically sharing, right? Like, if you're using massive amounts of viewership or visibility and you're not really yourself, then like the medicine doesn't really happen. That this technology actually came to be part of. So, and we can only do that when we really can see ourselves. So when we really can see ourselves and we're locked into feeling safe in our relationship to ourselves, and then trusting in our relationship to the greater community, and then capable in our relationship to our mission, and then worthy on a spiritual level, then we are fully expressed. And then the medicine of the visibility takes place. So we're just going to take a few more breaths here, letting your body move the way it needs to move. And in your mind's eye, saying, I am ready to be seen, and notice what the next part of the sentence is. I'm ready to be seen by. I am ready to be seen with. I am ready to be seen as. And I am ready to see. Fill it in. And then just coming into gratitude. Thank you for my ability to see. Thank you for my ability to be seen. Thank you for my ability to shift my perspective into clarity. Thank you for the truth that it is totally safe to be seen in our process, because we are all in a process right now. Thank you for the safety of that. I'm just going to ask if there's anything else we're here to understand. What I'm just hearing is like, just like the energy of spirit is just like really just saying how beautiful each one of us is. Like, your process is beautiful, and it's worthy of being seen and appreciated and understood. Even if the viewer is for right now just you. Even if the person, we started with the relationship with the self, even if what is watching it and loving it and finding beauty in it is just you watching you, you deserve that. That brings us to the worthiness. And, when I first learned these relationships, it's like the relationship to self and the relationship to spirit, the safety and the worthiness, that's the bread. And the relationship to community and trust, and the relationship to mission and capability, that's like the nice fillings. But the thing that holds us is understanding our safety, understanding the intrinsic worthiness, self and spirit. And then inside of that, we have this amazing human process that has to do with community and has to do with mission. And then we get to experience love in all these different ways. And so we just know now that anything we needed to clear and release today has been cleared and released. Exhaling out, letting anything you needed to let go of, let go. And then we're just knowing that whatever we needed to bring in, receive, whatever needed to be revealed for you today is with you, breathing that in. And really feel that. Really allow the head to open and soften, and just feeling your own beautiful energy, your own higher self, your own loving mentorship with spirit. However your practice is, just letting the energy of your own practice really come in and soften and clarify and heal. Feeling gratitude for the guides and guardians of the Akasha, for this technology and all the ways we can work with it in healing in beautiful ways. Feeling so much gratitude for the gift of sight. Feeling gratitude for the gift of perspective and sight, for the ways we support each other, for the ways we support ourselves with sight. Literal and metaphorical and energetic and spiritual, and just letting yourself drop into whatever your gratitude is for at this moment. Knowing that the work will continue beyond this time. We're always connected by heart. And just feeling that beautiful connection with your heart, with those relationships. Knowing the work will continue. We're always connected by heart, really dropping into that. But for now, we're breathing back into existence, the door between worlds. The records are closed, and so it is. And just taking a moment to put your arms around yourself, to feel the safety, the trust, the capability, and the worthiness. To feel all the love that's inside of you for yourself and for other relationships in the world. Knowing whatever it's time to complete under this cycle, you will complete it. And just feel the way you're ready for a new layer of visibility, and we opened that together today. And so as you're ready, just coming gently out of the space. Feels nice to be visible with you here. It's been a little while since I've done anything of any length on here, so it's nice to be on here. And it's nice to bring back, that part of the teaching from the Akasha. So thank you all for being here and joining me, and I think it's going to be a beautiful full moon. It's time to really be seen in all of these unique collective healing ways that we're each bringing forth. I believe deeply each person here has a very special offering for this period of time on the planet, for this Aquarian era. So if there's anything you want to share, any comments, questions, anything you noticed in that, feel free to share that here. And if this is something you'd like to do more around with the Akashic Records or with these relationships and love identities, you're so welcome. So good to see you, Nichelle. Feel free to reach out to me. And that's it. Feeling good. Feeling ready to it's my birthday on Friday, so it's been an interesting process to get to this next year. And yeah, I really enjoyed this process with all of you, and just that reminder of like, hey, we're all in a self-relationship process at the moment that will gently expand outward into those other relationships, and that it deserves to be seen and appreciated by ourselves, starting with ourselves, and then however else that expands out. So thank you all for being here, and we'll talk soon. Bye.